was 18, I got really sick with mono, and I was just laid up for like 8 months. I couldn't like really get out of bed and shit, and it was really, really awful. And it was the first, I had like a really happy childhood, and it was my first experience of like real like sadness, like over a long period of time, and I guess it was depression. But then I noticed, like, even when I got physically healthier, I was still like really struggling like mentally with a lot of stuff, because I had gone away to college, and like suddenly, like, I don't know, I think that's a tough age, just because like you know who you are when you're a kid, but you're not a kid anymore, and you don't know how to be an adult yet. You don't know where you fit into the world.
Yeah, and then you have these constant anxiety attacks about how like your kid life is over.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
All the stuff that you loved.
Yeah. So yeah, I started noticing that like I was just like really sad all the time, and really like having a lot of trouble just getting out of bed in the morning, and like things were bothering me. And basically the short version of the story is I had obsessive compulsive disorder, and it was undiagnosed, and I didn't really know what it was. OCD kind of like feeds on your imagination, but for me, like, it was that everything in my mind would not stop connecting, and as a result, like, I couldn't do anything. So like when I was struggling with it, my mind would be racing constantly. I almost failed out of school because of it, because I couldn't go to my classes. Like, I didn't really leave like my apartment for maybe like 5 months, something like that. And I'll never forget, dude. Like it was the weirdest thing. Like I was at my friend Adam's house, and I was sitting on the computer, and I said something, and he was like, dude, just stop obsessing about that shit. And it was just one of those weird like unconscious like things, and I just randomly typed in obsession into like Google search terms or whatever, and all these pages on obsessive compulsive disorder came up, and like I started reading about it, and I just like fucking immediately started crying, because like I was like, oh my god, I'm not fucking crazy. Like, I just have this thing. For me, the moment I found out what it was, as soon as it had a name, I had a focal point from which to attack it from. And then I was like, if it's a disease, quote unquote, then it has a cure, you know? But when it was just like this nameless thing like hanging over my life, it was just really, really tough. That's why I tell people, like, don't be scared to like go to therapy, and like don't think of it as like a sign of weakness to like ask for help if you're feeling sad, because like there's people out there who are like who want to help you and are qualified to help you.
Yeah.
They put me on, I think it was Prozac, for like, I was supposed to be on it for an indefinite period of time. And one of the misconceptions about those types of drugs is that they're happy pills. They're definitely not. They don't make you happy. They even things out, like, in your mind, so you can think clearly and solve your own problems. You know, like, you have to take the initiative and be like, no, I'm not gonna fucking live like this.
Right.
I think back to those times, which now seem so distant. You know, they were like over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just so happy now, like all the fucking time, because like I know what it's like to be sad, you know, and like it gives you, like, there's the two different kinds of happiness, you know. There's the kid happiness where you're just like, I'm happy because everything's awesome and new and interesting.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, and then there's the other happy, like the light at the end of the tunnel happiness, where you're like, I had to go through some shit, and like I earned this, you know.
Yeah, the mellow happy.
Yeah. The at peace kind of feeling. Oh yeah, so like that's when I went to France, like as an exchange student. And that really helped me too, like going to like a totally new place and like seeing like different environments and just being like, hey, you know what, like the world isn't what I thought it was. There's like a lot more to it that I haven't seen. Maybe this is like overly dramatic to say, but it is what happened. Like there was like this really pretty lake in the middle of the town I was staying in, and I was on Prozac for I guess like 6 months, and then like while I was out there I was like, I don't fucking need this shit anymore. So I like took
Did you throw it?
I did.
Nice.
I took the pill bottle and fucking threw it into the lake.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like one of the most satisfying like personal moments, I guess.